So a chimp in Japan escaped from a zoo and found refuge on an electrical wire. His return to captivity was incredible and quite frightening. This is a pretty graphic video, so if that is something that troubles you, be aware of that. Take a look at this video.
チンパンジーが叫び声を上げて怒っているようです。職員に襲いかかろうとしました。
So they shot him with a tranquilizer gun there because he'd already escaped and he's on this wire and so that's going to take a while to kick in, but you're going to see here that it is going to kick in. The reason Hannah gave you the warning is once it does, he's going to fall. They're going to catch him, but it's tough to look at.
片手でどうにか電線を掴んでいる状態です。職員がネットを広げてキャッチしようとしています。今落ちました。落ちました。
All right, so obviously an insane sort of situation. Now, this chimp's name is Chacha, and I want to assure everybody who is watching this that Chacha, according to Japanese officials, is completely unharmed from the situation. They broke his fall with the blanket. But you're seeing here a pretty crazy picture, and this picture is going viral on the internet right now of sort of his recapturing process. And as Cenk mentioned, that authorities resorted to shooting Chacha with a sedative tranquilizer while he was still perched on the electrical pole. The chimp eventually plummeted toward the ground, and like I said, it was broken by the blanket. But I would be pretty scared if I was that guy. Also really concerned for this chimp who had escaped and for his safety.
I mean, obviously that picture, it's incredible, right? It's a scary-looking picture. Most people, when they think of chimpanzees...
I thought it was photoshopped when I first saw it.
When you think of chimpanzees, of course they're very strong and they can be very dangerous at times. And that picture, I think, is going to play into that assumption, like, oh, this wild chimp escaped and it lunged at the guy. But, I mean, call me Ace Ventura or whatever else you want to call me, but I've never been a fan of, like, zoos or captivity. So, I mean, I look at it and I take the kind of the sad side of it. I'm like, it's hard to watch for me because, obviously, you know what goes on at zoos and you know what goes on in these places of captivity. And I know there's progressions may have been made and there's talks about how this is becoming more environmental, but it's still not. It will never substitute the freedom that these animals have, right? So, again, I understand that it may be a little scary to see that, and most people will run that story, but I took it as a way as like the chimpanzees escaped before. We see all these escape stories and the animals trying to break free, and I never really looked to the side of the dangerous side, which may be my own downfall if I ever come across one. But I looked to the side as like, I want to return them to their own natural habitat.
Okay, first of all, Ace Ventura. Okay.
I've got the quiff as well for Ace Ventura.
Okay, secondly, if you see them, Francis, I'm begging you to run. One of the earliest stories we did was about how a chimp ripped the face off of this woman.
Yeah.
And she had to get face transplant surgery, and it was amazing. Here's what you don't want: a chimp anywhere near your face.
Yeah.
And because they're not liberals, right? They're not like Francis, like, now it would be unjust for me to strike back at this person who put me in captivity. They're just thinking, I gotta go, right? And if you're in my way, I'm gonna have to take your face with me.
Yeah.
And so they're acting from primal instincts. But overall, I actually agree with Francis. The zoos disturb me. And I don't like seeing them in those cages, and maybe we're too much libs, and hey, that's life, and we won, Homo sapiens won, and they lost all these different animals, and we put them in cages and look at them. And I get it. There's wonderful, wonderful people who work at zoos who care deeply about the animals. That's why they're working at the zoo, right? And they try their best to put them in humane conditions. But a chimp is not meant to live in a cage.
Yeah.
That's why he busts out like he does. Yeah. And that's why when I see Planet of the Apes, I'm often rooting for the apes.
Yeah, you do. I mean, maybe
we've had it coming for a long time.
I think you both make really good points, and I think that's what stories like these remind you, that these are animals are meant to be, in the wild, right? And especially in situations like it's sad. Like they shouldn't have to tranquilize a chimp because he's on an electrical wire. Like none of those things should be happening. He should be, in the wild, free to do whatever he wants. But like you said, there are great people who work at zoos. I think there, are benefits to obviously conservation efforts that a lot of zoos do. And I think, for some zoos and it gives children an opportunity to see these animals, right? And they have the opportunity to interact with them and develop a love for animal and wildlife. Like for me, I'm just going to keep it real. Is I am very passionate about marine conservation and whales and things like that, and I fell in love with orcas and whales after seeing them at SeaWorld. And obviously now we see blackfish and we know the horrendous things that go into that. But I think there is, some, I don't know what the best way to sort of navigate that is, because I do think there is a benefit to having kids and people interact with these animals or have some sort of experience, and maybe virtual reality will help aid some of that. But obviously it's sad and it's unfortunate that the animal was put in that position at all.
Yeah.
I confess to being all over the place here. Look, number one, I always think we'll get to the whales second. Let's save the humans first. So I'm not the best guy on that. On the other hand, I sympathize with the animals who were caging up. On the other hand, we took most of their habitats away. And there's really not that much we can do about that. And so you can tell people not to keep expanding, but what are you going to do? It's 7 billion people and growing. So we keep impinging on their space, and so that's just the reality of what's happened. So that's why there are no easy answers here. You definitely have to do some conservation, but this is also part of evolution, right? So part of evolution was we killed all of the Neanderthals, except the ones we shaggled and now are part of our DNA, right? But, I mean, if the Neanderthals were around, would we have them in cages? Maybe, probably. Instead, we killed them all. So if you think that ape is scary, wait till you get a load of us.